A man says women say one thing but mean another. Another man teaches other men how to get women into bed. And finally, one man says men need to learn to listen to what women want, what men really think of women today. Hello, everyone. I don't know if you noticed by the shots that we're taking, but this is an audience of all women today. We have invited them here for a reason, because we have three men with different points of view. These three men think they know what women think, and today we will find out. Meet Ross Jeffries. He says he got tired of being Mr. Nice Guy and being dumped by women, so he changed his ways, and he wrote a book for other men who feel the same way. It is called How to Get the Women You Desire into Bed. This is Mel Fight. Mel says women say they want a sensitive guy, but the minute men get sensitive, women run the other way. And finally, Bruce Weinstein. Bruce says he is pro-feminist and pro-woman. He thinks men would be a lot better off if they only learned to listen to what women have to say. Well, Ross and Mel, I guess you already realize that your positions are in the minority here.
No surprise.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to stay out of this for a minute or two, and I want everybody. I'm just gonna fire off some questions, okay? Just so we get some answers, all right? And I may leave some of those balls hanging up there for you ladies to slam dunk later on, but that's your prerogative, all right? Ross, what do women really want?
I don't care what they want. I only care what they respond to. See, my focus is a little bit different from your other guests. There's what women say they want, there's what women think they want, and then there's what they actually respond to. I'm not an academic, I'm not a theoretician. I'm interested in what works on the street when it's time to date and mate. And what women actually respond to is not what they say they want.
So what do they respond to?
They really respond to a guy who's a challenge, a guy who's a question mark, a guy who keeps them guessing. You see, in the beginning, the less attractive you are physically, the more you have to rely on your attitude. And that's what I wrote my book for. I wrote my book for the average-looking, even ugly guy who goes out there in the real world and tries to be a nice guy, gets his head kicked in.
So no more Mr. Nice Guy.
You can be pleasant. You see, we've got to define our terms. By nice, I mean accommodating. When you accommodate, you get what the commode gets. You get the crapola. You have to learn how to say no to a woman.
Yeah. As I said, I'm going to let a lot of these things hang, and you can all take them on later. But so this, I guess, attitude is your word. This attitude that you now have is more appealing to women?
The attitude is vastly more appealing. Basically, the attitude is I make no excuses for what I want. And number two, I don't need you, you need me. Now, bear in mind, I don't verbalize it. Exactly. Now, you see this response here. You should never verbalize the attitude. You show it in your behavior.
You're sitting here pointing your finger at him. Stand up and tell us why you're pointing at him.
No, I was just saying that he's just got this prejudgment of what women are like, and I think what he should do is just develop his own self, and then he's going to find these relationships work better.
The sleazebag you see is the real me. I found the real me.
I think you've prejudged us. I mean, the audience's reaction at the top of the show showed that the women here have prejudged us. I think it's a sad comment on women that they respond to the kind of manipulative behavior that Ross is encouraging that men do. That's a sad comment on you. Listen,
you should develop yourself, and that should be a right person.
You know what I found? I found that the nice guys who, when I'm on the radio or TV, nice guys call up and go, well, it wouldn't be myself. It's the nice guy who's the phony, who's not being his real self, because he's afraid he can't do any better.
So you're going back to my point. All men are jerks?
No.
And some hide it. Wait a minute. But isn't that what you just said? Is all men are sort of jerks, and some of them try to sugarcoat it? Is that what you just said?
No, what I'm saying is that
I said I was going to stay out of it, and I can't.
What I'm saying is that there's a massive power imbalance in favor of women when it comes to dating and sex. And women, through their behavior, through showing men what they actually respond to, force men to act in a certain way.
Yes, there is a power imbalance in our society, but who wields the power? It is men who wield the power, and I'm here to say, I'm here today to say that it is time for men to give up our power and authority and our privilege, because we have dominated women, we have dominated other men, we have dominated the planet for too long, and it has got to stop.
Hold on a second. This is what women want. They want to hear this. Women want, what you want is you want to hear that we're jerks. You want to hear that we have all the power. You know, the most important unspoken truth about men is that we are very angry. A lot of us are very angry at women. And this is a good example. You're showing why we're angry. You're not even listening. You don't want to listen to what we have to say. And
I'm afraid that they heard it.
I don't think I heard it all. And I think, you know, the reason that men don't communicate about their anger, we keep it secret, is because when we try to tell you why we're angry, you respond with ridicule, with disbelief,
why are you angry?
or your own anger.
I'm not angry, I'm satisfied, because I know how to manipulate women and get what I want. But let me say, his point is so preposterous. Get a shot of this audience. Every woman sitting here is sitting on more power than Con Edison pumps out in 10 years. You control the access to sex, and that is an incredible amount of power.
The man asks, the woman says yes or no. She has the power, and that makes, wait a second, a lot of men feel, you don't know this, but it's the truth, a lot of men feel powerless and degraded and dehumanized by the sexual system whereby the man asks and the woman decides. We feel harassed every minute of every day of our lives, and it's about time that you understand that.
When we look at wait, I'm sorry, 1 second. Bruce, Mel, stand up. Now, doesn't that invite harassment?
No, what it invites is hypocrisy. What it invites is, you know, the fashion rage for women this year is a man's suit and tie. When you decide to ridicule me in my skirt, you've got to be kidding. You've got to be kidding, Faith.
I don't like the length, and I don't think it matches the sweater is my problem with it.
But now, wait a second. I said that when men stand up for themselves, what do they expect from women? Ridicule. You proved it, didn't you?
I did. I'm guilty right here. I admit it. I admit it. You have a question?
Yes, my question is directed to him. What's your name again?
Ross.
Ross. I think you're gonna.
She said that Ross. She said it Ross.
Ross, I think you're gonna end up.
Say it right. Ross.
Ross. I think you're gonna end up a very lonely man.
But you gotta understand, he says quite the contrary. He says he has a much better dating life, romance life, sex life now.
It's incomparably better. Yeah. I mean, you know, let's look at reality. The reality is that nice guys not only do nice guys finish last, they often don't even get into the race. And you want to talk about fashion. If a woman does like a nice guy, it's her way of making a fashion statement. It's fashionable for her to like that.
And Ross is absolutely right. Women have a lot of sexual power, and he has the courage to say that. He's making a mistake, though. He's encouraging men to simply surrender to that power. And I think, you know, if you're a man and you follow Ross's advice, you're going to get more sex, but you're going to have less self-respect. There are more important things in life than getting laid.
We'll all disagree on that point, but let me get to the commercial break, and we'll come back and find out why in a moment. And we're back. You have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, I think that they just have had bad experiences with women, so they're just somewhat poisoned against women in general.
True?
Never fails. Every show we do, we talk about our feelings. Someone stands up and said, we've had bad experiences. You're trying to trivialize what we're saying, and I resent it. It's the hostility that men and women have for each other that's poisoning our relationships. We've got to be able to talk about it and listen to one another non-judgmentally.
I don't think I've been poisoned. I think I'm just doing what works.
Faith,
it's a matter of doing what works.
Excuse me. One thing the women's movement has taught me is to avoid speaking for other people. So I would like to ask you, if you think that men need to change in some fundamental ways and do a better job at listening to you, please clap your hands.
What's smarmy? Wait a minute. Do we have... This guy's like he's running This guy's like he's running for office here. He knows how to work the crowd, okay?
And you know I'm not interested.
Well, you know what? It's not a stretch for him to get this audience to agree with his point.
Wait a minute, but I am not interested in what applies in the mummified halls of academia. I understand
I'm not speaking as an academic.
PhD, I'm not speaking as an academic. And deeper. I'm talking for the little guy out there who gets his head kicked in and always winds up being the buddy, the big brother, and here is, let's be friends. You want a friend, lady? Get a dog.
Okay. And here's the thing. Here's the thing you have to know about Bruce, Faith. Here's the thing that's important for women. There's something important for women to know about Bruce.
We just met. How do you know about